Hi Blender fans, and welcome once again to a Blender TC. In this tutorial we're going to actually make a gradient texture, but we're going to use it on something useful, something for the coming Christmas time, and what we're going to do is make a simple bauble to actually make gradients that can be used as skies and other things. Towards the end of the tutorial I'm going to show you how we use this with the Musgrave texture to actually come up with some really quite good effects. Let's begin. I'm just going to add something that looks a bit like a bauble, and that's going to be the mesh UV sphere, like so. Pressing the tab key will take us in and out of edit mode, and if we go on point select, we've got point select, line select and face select, and select this top point. Pressing the X key, which will fetch up our delete menu again, we select vertices, which of course will make anything disappear that is connected to it. Go on line select then, press the Alt key and select the ring. E and Z will then extrude this up like that, just to make our bauble shape. So with that ring still selected, I'm just going to press Shift and D, duplicate the ring. Pressing the enter will fix it, and as you can see you've got a thing here that says add duplicate. So a duplicate ring has been created, but we want to actually separate it from the main bauble. So if we press the P key, and by selection this will separate the top ring. Pressing the tab key will take us out of edit mode, and if we select the top ring which we just created, I'm just going to E to extrude this. Sorry, I'm not. Selecting the top ring, I'm just going to press S to scale this up, like so, and then what I'm going to do is go into Object, Set Origin to Geometry. And then you're going to go into Edit mode, make sure you're on line select, press the Alt key down and left click. So E and Z, and we're going to actually drag this down like so. And then selecting the top ring again with the Alt and the left click, E and S to scale, E and S to scale again, and F to fill. Select the top ring with the Alt key and the left click, and what we're going to do is press Ctrl and B, which will take us into our bevel menu. That makes this appear down here, and what we can do is actually increase this just to make our general shape, and I'm just going to make the segments just a bit round like that. Next, what we'll do is we're going to select this bottom line with pressing Alt and left clicking, and then we're going to go on to select. Oh no, first of all let's go into point select, and then we'll go into select, and what we're going to do is put checkered deselect, so every other point will be selected. And then what we can do simply is press the G key, that's G twice, and we can just move this up to make that type of shape. Quickly, I'm just going to smooth these out, so shade smooth by selecting them, right clicking and shade smooth. So we've now got our bauble shape. It's up to you, you can scale this in the Z just to scale it up a bit if you wish. I'm just going to leave it about there, and G and Z just to move it down until it's just where I want it. Next, what we're going to do is add a mesh, and we're going to add in a torus, and then rotate it. In fact, we'll just move it up first, G and Z, until the point actually just goes above our lid, and rotate in the X by 90. And then I'm going to scale this down and scale it just to so it's about there. Shade smooth, and then what we'll do is just join these two together. I did that by holding the shift down, pressing left click on that one, then that one, then right clicking on my mouse, and that will join them together. So we've got the bauble, and we've got the bauble, and we've got the lid. And what you can do is join them together. But for now, I'm just going to actually keep these a little bit separate because I need to show you something else first. I'm just going to pause that there because I've lost something. As I said, now we have made our bauble and our lid. So what we're going to do is add our gradient texture to this to make this really work. So go on to textures, add a new texture, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into shading. You can add a new texture here, and you can either rename it here or you can rename it here. It's up to you. But what I'm going to do is just let me select that. You can either rename it here or you can rename it here, and I'm just going to put bauble. In fact, I'll just put ball, right, just to make the texture, and as you can see, it changed up here as well. So scale this across. I'm just going to scale this down, make this a little bit bigger so I can show you what we're actually doing, and make this a little bit clearer. First of all, we're going to add in a texture, a color ramp. So I'm just going to add in. Now, if you go on search, it's in this list somewhere, but it takes you quite a while to find it. So sometimes it's easier just to put search when you know what you're looking for, and we'll put color ramp. So COLOR, American spelling, obviously, and we go color ramp. So if we actually put this into here, let's just put this on this select. So I'll just hold for a second. What are you doing?
We're hungry.
You're hungry.
What's it? They're gonna have the fattest dog in the world. You next time.
As you can see, what we've got here, we've got a colour ramp, and if we move this slider in between, it goes to that colour, right to the left it goes to black, and up to there it goes. It just varies in colour. So let's just make this a little bit shiny. Take the roughness down, make it nice and shiny with its metallic. So we've got ourselves a ball, black ball, and a white ball, and anywhere in between, which is like a silver ball. Take the roughness down a little bit more, just so it reflects our light. So as you can see, this is quite good, but it's not a gradient, and it's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is add in a separator. So I'm going to separate SEPERATE, separate X, Y, and Z like that. And we're just going to put from the Z into the factor. Once we've finished doing this, if we actually put this again has got control over this, but I'm just going to change this to 0. What we've got here, you see, as you can see, this is just now controlling the brightness. So you take it all the way up, I'll take it all the way down, and I'm just going to actually put it into 0. To 0, just for now. Next thing I'm going to add in is a mapping node. So I'm going to add in a mapping node. Add search again. Like I say, it's in the list if you want to find it manually, and there's quite a few things that are very useful in there just to actually find. So I'm just going to put this mapping node and take the vector out of the vector, and as you can see, what we've got there is you can still control it just by altering this a Z thing here, and go Z and just turn that to 0, which in effect is controlling the strength. Right, and lastly, what we're going to actually add, and we keep getting people coming in and out because unfortunately I'm in my little shed out here, and one of the freezers in there, and because it's quite warm, everybody's wanting an ice cream. It's not Christmas yet. So what I'm going to do is add in a texture coordinate. So add search, and we're going to look for texture coordinates TEXT. In fact, let's just spell coordinate because of COOR And what we've got here is texture coordinate. Add that into there and take the generated into the vector. And as you can see, it's darker on the bottom and lighter on the top. So what we can do now is have a little bit of fun with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some different colours. So I'm just going to put plus, 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 plus. So add these colours, space them out evenly. Oh, you don't have to be evenly, it can be any way you wish. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick some random colour. So let's just actually, right, do I keep that to black? I'm going to keep the first one to a black. I'm going to change the second one. So select the second one, change this to a yellow. You can make it as bright or as dark as you want. So make it into a yellow. Make the next one, I think I'm going to make that into a green colour. Oops. And so select it and adjust the light by moving this. Then the next one, I'm going to make that into a purpley colour, just because I can. And I'm going to make this one into a reddy colour. So select a red. And as you can see, quite simply, we're making ourselves a fantastic gradient texture. This can be used, it can be used in all sorts of things like skies, but for this tutorial it's just being used to make a nice fancy bauble. Alright, so now we've made our bauble, I think I want to actually make on the top of here, I want to actually have ourselves a gold crown. So if we actually go on to here, select the new again, and we're going to make ourselves a gold metal. So I'm just going to call this gold, just be easy, GOLD. So take the shininess right up, probably as shiny as it get. Take the roughness right, in fact I'll leave the roughness because we're going to actually do something a bit strange. So I'm just going to add in a, right, we're going to add in a texture, and the texture is going to be a Musgrave texture. So just quickly type it in. Like I say, you can find them down here if you wish. Oops, done that wrong. X. Add in a texture and you can find it on there, which is Musgrave, or alternatively add in and search and just put Mus and you find it just that little bit quicker. X to delete that one because we don't need two of these. X. So we've got the Musgrave texture, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the Musgrave texture, put that into the roughness like that, and take that and put this into the clear coat normal. And as you can see, we've got a funny metal looking texture. And if we just move this just a little bit like that, we end up with a silver colour. There is just one thing that makes this look a little bit better. So I'm just going to add in RGB to black and white. So RGB to black and white. And if you drop that in there, just makes it that little, it works that little bit better. And take the values and put it into the normals there. Don't know why it does, it just makes a little bit of a rougher texture. By just actually make it black and white values, it just looks that little bit better. And you just alter this until it's just about where you want it. And I'm just going to change this to a goldy colour. And that's just about it. That's my bauble more or less done. It's entirely up to you. I think I like that because it looks like a gold foil type colour. Really cheap golden plastic because the actual bauble's made of glass. And of course, that's just like a plastic cap. And quickly, I'm just going to add in a mesh, and the mesh I'm going to add in is a plane. Just scale it up, just to sit a bauble on. Just going to make it into make it into a black material. Make it a little bit shiny, just so it reflects things. Take the roughness down, and quickly join these now together. Select both of them, select and press join. Why is that not working? Select the top, select the bauble, then just join them together. I think I've just made that into a bit of it. So me Control and Z just to undo this. I think I must have just twisted that slightly. So select them two and join them together. Wow, I like that. Don't know what I've done there, but I quite like it. So let's just actually go into the actual ball texture. And as you can see, for some reason, Control and A, I'm just going to rotation and scale. And what it done, it took the attributes on of the ring that we did, because we twisted that by 90 degrees. But the alternative that you can do is, because if you actually change this from the Y into the factor, as you can see, you can do that kind of effect. And same on the X. It'll be front to back this time. There we go. But I think it looks better in the Z direction. Like that. Another thing you can actually do if you wanted to, just to make this a little bit more interesting, say you wanted to add in a Musgrave texture. Right, texture, Musgrave. If you were to drop it in to there, you get something very, very strange. But also very, very Christmassy. And if you're to actually remove the Musgrave texture and drop it between these, like that, you end up with these special lines. And if you actually, let's just move it again. Depending on where you drop the Musgrave texture, these different things happen. Let's see, drop it into here. And it's very similar to before, but of course this is now controlled by this and these attributes here. So as you can see, with just a little bit of work, you can actually have quite a lot of fun with the Musgrave texture. Thank you for joining me on Blender TC, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget, please subscribe and watch something else on my channel. Bye for now. I think I burped then at the end. Oh well, never mind. Pardon me.